know what I used to do for entertainment? What, listen to the wireless? Did it? Because that was rubbish and all. Now what we used to do for entertainment? Fighting! Fucking fighting! Cracking each other down, getting pissed up, and having a good old fucking beat up. Proper fucking entertainment!
We're about to see a fight. The combatants prepared themselves both physically and mentally for the duel that lays ahead of them.
My style is the best, and so I challenge you. That my style should stand alone. That's right.
And start giving some number sandwiches to some of these no good filthy rats that's around here.
You meticulously break every bone in their bodies.
The weak fight back.
Look at yourself. You better look up to somebody. You ought to look up to me as well as anybody else. Without me, you would be a nobody. There wouldn't even be hardcore in this country. I am the true hardcore.
You wait until I leave this area. Then you will eat the camera like you never did before.
Skill, force, strength, power, speed, and charisma are the few of the ingredients that make a fighter stand out among his peers.
Kill anyone who dares to go against me.
You gotta watch yourself on this lot. I mean, times are changing. They ain't no respecters of the old school.
You're old school, and I represent everything that's a threat to you.
Oh, bollocks. There's no school like the old school, and I'm the fucking headmaster.
It's fear that keeps them loyal to me. It's fear that keeps them loyal to me.
It's fear that keeps them loyal. It's fear that keeps them loyal.
It's fear that keeps them loyal. It's fear that keeps them loyal.
Over and 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 over again. And that's the champion that you cheer for?
We'll beat the shit out of them.
The head of the family had just about set in retirement about as long as he can take it. And let me tell you something, if there's any man can put me in retirement, he'll just come out on down because we're ready to go. You understand what I'm saying? So we're going to be talking about a little bit of excitement. And let me tell you something, get mama from the kitchen. Stop everything you're doing, get mathematical kids that close your TV set and listen to me. I'll fucking kill you.
That's the last of the problems. And you now have a few more seconds to finalize all your calculations while the following plays.
Total self-destruction. Shove that control into a nosedive. Yourself to total self-destruction.
It's tough. Very, very tough. I don't care who wins. Good. I am the champion! What is ready?
No time limits, no countouts, no qualifications, no rules. You can take your win loss record and shove it straight up your ass. Cause the truth is, the undeniable fact is, I am the baddest son of a bitch in this game. I am the sickest son of a bitch in this game. And there ain't a damn soul who's gonna come out here and try to prove me wrong.
Point.
I'm unsectionable, I'm out of control. You think I'm out of control? You ain't seen nothing yet. Be careful what you wish for. You are gonna see beautiful, glorious violence like we haven't seen this for decades.
They have the best fight I think I've ever seen. Any movie that you can ever think of where there's been a fight, it's all in here, and it's all great.
I'll show you I'm best in the world. It is very simple. I am top in Japan. Next target to be the best in the world. I will show you my style.
What? Oh yeah!
Yes, baby, knackered. You're thinking that you can throw me off my game, put me in this match. Doesn't matter if I've never done it before. Fact of the matter is, whether it's a European rules match, whether it's a hardcore match, doesn't matter.
But you know and I know that you're only half the man that I am. And I have half the brain that you do. I'm one of the biggest legend stars ever this God. And you two are too tight too, Billy. Look at me. I'm a total package. I will rip him apart. I'm pissed now.
Can I tell you something as a friend? No, can I tell you something as a friend? Come on in if you would, please. You're the shits. You really are.
You're too selfish, like I've said all along. Your ego is too big. You only worry about yourself. I was concerned about myself and my whole family. The biggest opportunity in my life. I had a chance, and you stripped it away from me. You took it away from me, and that's why you're sitting there with a bad leg. And that's why I kicked your leg out of your leg. But I can count on myself. I'm gonna come after you like I've never done before. And then, when it's all over, after they play the national anthem, then we're gonna play your song on your way out.
Anything you can do, I can do better. Even when I rap more better. And it gets no better. Perfection, and it gets no better.
It almost feels like it's taking the piss out of fans. Like, oh yeah, you're stupid, fucking idiot, Mark, cunt, bollock, you know, like, you should have narrated this.
Get the hell out of here, 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 get it? Oh yeah,
I've seen what you're seeing. They were here. You're valuable to them. They're studying you. They're obviously a great deal more powerful and technologically advanced than we are. I want you to help me to bring them back. If you were to be brought to the brink of death, they would return to reverse the process. Approximately 2 to 4 minutes for all the oxygen in your brain to be depleted. This syringe contains atropine. When I need to revive you, I'll inject this, along with adrenaline, into your system. These 2 drugs, administered within 2 minutes after your death, along with a sharp blow to your chest with my fist, will restart the heart. This is going to hurt. Prepare to die.
Let me tell you all a bit about myself. My hobbies are drinking, smoking, swearing, and grass shooting. I am not a cripple, and I do not believe in self-control. I hate soft drinks, racing drivers, everyone who lives on the Isle of Wight, blind people, last orders, and stupid old-faced cows who say they'll do it and don't even when they're pissed.
Of course, the power of suggestion.
See there, you little twinkle-faced, lunatic, sucker-faced little children of the damned. And that was kind of just a flip, like, come with me, I'm going somewhere weird.
Catch the rainbow, smell the dream.
That's the psychology, man.
In psychoanalysis, Freud's one of his great inventions was to allow the patient to lie on a couch and to say whatever came into their mind. And if another idea flicked into their mind, they should give up the path they were following, this and follow that. You could flick channels of your mind, and he used to encourage that.
That's too much. That camera's like a bloody magnifying glass. You can see everything. You can see thoughts. So you're in for a treat. Go on. But it can actually.
Buy your kids a fucking stick!
I did recently have a marvellous experience in the street. One day when I was out playing with a stick, I passed a mother and child who were glowing in front of a crowd. What was unusual was that they were eating 2 portions of fish and chips and 5 tiramisus. I went up to the mother and said,
"Wouldn't you both be sick?"
No, it's funny that if it was just 4 tiramisus, then probably I would throw up and none of these people would stand a chance, but 5 and the 2 portions of fish chips seems about right.
I said,
"How on earth did you find that out?"
And she told me why we weren't a pair of disgusting pigs.
One day my husband came home in a hurry and told us he had something to show us.
We wouldn't tell us what it was, we just had to get in the car.
He just drove off really fast.
I kept asking Dad to slow down, but he just said everything was okay.
And then he just suddenly shot up to 90, 110. He just kept on going faster and faster in the built-up area. 130.
Stuart, will you just slow down a bit?
150. And then we got to 164 miles an hour.
And suddenly, everything felt okay.
It felt like at last you didn't have to worry about going over the speed limit.
We could see that at exactly 164 miles an hour, you could go down any street you like and you wouldn't crash.
It's actually the safest speed to go at.
163 is deadly, it is just stupid. But 164 is just right.
At that speed we suddenly understood everything.
They'd found out that you can be really excessive about something, provided you get the quantity absolutely right.
The boys are the wittiest, the girls are the prettiest. Way back home. Don't know why I left the homestead. I really must confess, I'm a weary exile, singing my song of loneliness. The food is the spreadiest, the wine is the headiest, the pals are the readiest, the gals are the steadiest, the love the liveliest, the life the loveliest. Way back, way back, way back, way back, way back, way back, way back home. No place like home. So wish on the moon, and someday it may be tomorrow. You will suddenly hear chimes, and you'll have your happy time. On the moon, and someday it may be tomorrow. You will suddenly hear chimes, and you'll have your happy time.
fallout, cause they said this bomb was clean. Find the way, just listen for my song. I'll love you all your life, although that may not be too long. Crawl out through the fallout, baby, to my loving arms, while those ICBMs keep us free. When you hear me call out, baby, kick the wall out, and crawl out through the fallout back to me.
All programmes have now been suspended on all channels to allow the broadcast of this film held in reserve for times of crisis.
Attention. Britain is under nuclear attack from overseas. Shelter immediately.
Mine is the last voice that you will ever hear. Don't be alarmed.
Soon, there will be no way for humans to communicate at all, plunging our planet into a new dark age, and eventually causing it to explode altogether.
Repeat. Britain is under nuclear attack from overseas. Shelter immediately.
If any member of the family should die whilst in the shelter from contamination, put them outside. Remember to tell them first for identification purposes. Mine is the last voice that you'll ever hear. Do not be alarmed.
This is Britain, and in this glittering sea, this perfect fusion of man and mineral, we know that conflict will always perish in the brotherhood of flags. This is Britain, and everything's all right. Everything's all right. It's okay. It's fine.
history can be remembered, we're talking about an underground. The human being can continue to function to maintain the species from a dark age. The purpose of this underground is to find out how to preserve the light, reconstruct a new future.
Some things are best left buried.
The battle line has been drawn, and now the one that left me, the only one ever to leave us, have joined. And as it all became clear, we all rejoiced, and rejoiced in different moments, and in different sections. But now, the lost sheep will come back to this fold.
We are all individuals, but we live in a world with other people, and we must often accommodate to them. To what extent can we remain individuals in a social world? What kinds of pressures do others exert on us to conform? And how do we deal with such pressures?
If you hold back anything, I'll kill you. If you bend the truth, or I think you're bending the truth, I'll kill you. If you forget anything, I'll kill you. In fact, you're gonna have to work very hard to stay alive. No, mate. Enlighten me.
It's the new style! What the fuck is this?
This is one in a series of experiments we shall examine in this film to show how our behavior is influenced by others. Experiments in conformity and independence.
New style. New style. New style. New style. New style. New style.
Adrenaline.
A pathway to hell. Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you. Go on, you bollocks!
Isn't he supposed to be trained? He's meant to be the master!
You feel the lack of rules, no? You feel the
adrenaline.
The lack of boundaries. What's happening? The shapes, the chaos. Huh? It has to be simple nursery rhymes for you, doesn't it?
Stop the
simple
evil.
little dee. Shut your mouth. The melody is abstract. You mess your trousers, run to your mummy.
Shut your mouth.
Huh?
For the shandy. All right. We know what we're talking about.
Adrenaline.
Destroy all of us. I know. What other choices have we?
Democracy.
Compromise.
Democracy.
Compromise.
Alien complex. Wait a minute, I'm not the enemy. Hold on,
Bumble jumper. Now, why don't we try attacking the aliens' headquarters with the resource energy
No, adrenaline. No, adrenaline.
Looking at it, I bet you were found by any human together.
Sell out, sell out, sell out, sell out.
Like your mum has.
Dude, what's going on? Oh, come on. You guys need to realize
Adrenaline.
it's over, okay? You can pretend all you want, but it's not coming back. You guys are sellouts. Look out. You fucking go! Okay, man, come on.
Yes, it doesn't matter. Yes, it doesn't matter anymore. You're gonna go to the record store. You're gonna give them all your money. Radio plays what they want you to hear. Study in school. I just don't believe it.
Sell out with me, oh yeah, sell out with me tonight. The record company's only getting lots of money, and that much ain't gonna be.
No, adrenaline. No, adrenaline. No, adrenaline.
Out of everything, I don't
call me macaroni, and the girls say my dick's so bony. They don't want me, they laugh at me, and they come and throw up beside me. Spit on me, point at me, and if they could, they'd probably kill me. Sorry, motherfuckers, dance the Macarena. Could it be that everybody's gonna kinda insane? Everybody hates the Macarena. Fuck the Macarena.
Oppan Gangnam Style, Gangnam Style, Gangnam Style.
Move with me, jam with me, move with me, jam with me.
Now, adrenaline.
Sky News caught the chilling moment the condition reached the UN and Ban Ki-moon himself succumbed, hailing Gangnam Style as a potential harbinger of world peace, saying, "In this era of instability and intolerance, we need to promote better understanding through the power of music."
There was this online craze thing called the Harlem Shake on the internet.
You go to YouTube and put in Harlem Shake, and you'd see like a big room, and then the music could go all exciting, and suddenly everyone's dancing like they were crazy. It was literally that amazing.
You'd hear the music and you'd think, no way they're going to do the mad dance. That'd be mental. But then, right, they do it anyway.
Conformity and independence.
Adrenaline.
Conformity and independence.
Now, adrenaline.
It's getting in Gangnam Style, because Gangnam Style looks better, but it's harder to do. But in Harlem Shake, you don't have to learn anything. It's all well and good waving your arms around with a funny hat on. But at the end of the day, you've got a job to do. We all have. So pull your weight. Stop fucking dancing and get back to work, you selfish Harlem Shake bastards.
You have a history of non-cooperation with the council.
The last one. The one that went to the desert to purify himself from me. The one that turned his back on Abuddin and my family and the mystic one. The one that got lost in the desert will come back. But this time, when he comes back, he's coming back slit from head to his gut. Because we're gonna feast on your innards.
I hope I give you the shits, you fucking wimp.
Getting exciting now.
Speak! I haven't got a speech, I didn't cram words, I didn't even try to. Because we're so out of our minds with desperation, we don't know any better. Show us something real and free and beautiful. Yeah? It break us. We're too numb for it. Our minds will choke. It's only so much wonder we can bear. That's why when you find any wonder whatsoever, you dole it out in meager portions. And only then till it's augmented and packaged and pumped through 10,000 pre-assigned filters till it's nothing more than a meaningless series of lights while we ride day in, day out. Going where? Fuck you! That's what it boils down to, is fuck you! Fuck you for sitting there and slowly making things worse. Fuck you and your spotlight and your sanctimonious faces and fuck you all for taking the one thing I ever came close to anything real about anything. But oozing around it and crushing it into a bone, into a joke. One more ugly joke in the kingdom of millions of them stuff. Fuck you for happening. Fuck you for me, for us, for everyone. Fuck you.
Of all the Ricks in the central finite curve, you're the malcontent, the rogue, I'm the Rick. And so were the rest of you before you formed this stupid alliance. You wanted to be safe from the government, so you became a stupid government. That makes every Rick here less Rick than me. Yeah, murmur it up, D-bags.
It's all choreographed, and it's quite disturbing, I think, for democracy.
Why don't you just stop this shit and play some real fucking hardcore? Hey, give me some fucking hardcore.
units, this is Sergeant Kelly. We're under attack by an unknown enemy force. Fall back to Marine HQ to regroup. I say again, fall back to Marine HQ and await further orders.
1033, control, Adam needs assistance. I need assistance. I need assistance.
All units, this is Sergeant Kelly. We don't know what we're up against. I repeat, we have negative ID on the assailing force.
Where are these things? I don't know, but stay where you are. Don't let anyone in there. This thing. What was that? Where are you?
And reaction to those events has been immediate. Paddy Ashton, President Bush,
overall,
and David Steele.
Tentacles.
And I'm joined now on the telephone by reporter Jed Boyce, who's standing next to the hole out of which the events are emerging. Hello, Jed.
Good afternoon, MFI French Station. How can I help you?
Jed, what's the latest?
Sorry?
What's the latest in the situation down there?
In respect of what?
The developing situation as it happens.
Oh, well, this promotion at the moment...
Yes?
...finishes the 28th of this...
Rock's Human Security Command. Requesting immediate reinforcements. Code Black. I'll repeat Code Black. 12 down. Sector 8 down. Sector 3 down. Jesus Christ! Through the connections of the utility shaft. Something went, something scared! Look at that! Half of London's alight! That's British craftsmanship, that is.
And right from the beginning you knew this was different. Because it was in the street outside. It was coming through your windows. It was the blood. Something in the blood.
No one official is prepared to comment. Religious groups are calling it Judgment Day.
He is literally being bored to death. If he ever has the same experience twice, all his internal organs will hemorrhage simultaneously.
They found some unreleased songs by John Lennon.
Oh, shite.
Oh no, his eyes are bleeding again.
Do you remember some of the music from 2006?
Oh,
7, 8, 9.
The Arctic Monkeys. It's all right. That's okay, isn't it? And there's a lot of music around that time that was fine. And really fine.
Every day, I find it more and more difficult to find something that will stimulate Sam's imagination and stop him dying.
My favourite thing ever, Top of the Pops 2 title sequence. My favourite thing ever.
Top of the Pops 2 title sequence.
I mean, the first thing you'd hear is this guitar playing the riff from Led Zeppelin's Whole Lotta Love. Then in time with the riff, the screen would change colour.
And within that colour, spirals of a darker hue would appear.
First off, the screen went yellow with spirals pulsing from the bottom left of the screen.
Doesn't interest me.
Then it would go red with a pulse from the middle right.
Mid left blue.
Top right orange.
Bottom left scarlet.
Bottom centre green.
Top centre red.
I don't like it.
Then there was a wipe from right to left with blue.
But the spirals were emanating from the end of the wipe on the left.
We're desperately trying to invent as many completely new experiences as we can.
As a counterpoint, there was an orange wipe in the other direction, right to left.
And again, the spirals emanated from the end of the wipe,
i.e. top right.
Then it went green from the bottom of the screen.
Then a red wipe from right to left, but this time the spirals pulsed from the start of the wipe.
And then an iris out to show the titles.
Perfect.
I'm not feeling well. We reformed D17 for you with Alan Shearer instead of Brian Harvey.
Oh, God!
Give it a name, brothers and sisters. Simon Rhodes putting the sound into your head. Tonight, Indie Club brings you Colon to show just how dangerous music can be. No one's heard anything like this before, but by Christ, it's loud and it's dangerous, because they would rather die than compromise. Everything you know is wrong, because Colon are here. Give it up for Colon with Kick in the Sun.
Trapped in my flat, only my memories for company. Trapped in my flat, hoping someone will come and rescue me. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What? We want to have fun and we want to get wasted. We want fun, more fun, have fun. Just what do we love? What do we want? We want fun, more fun, have fun. Just what do we love? What do we want? We want fun, more fun, have fun. Just what do we want? We know what we want. We want fun, everybody's fun, later. Have fun and we want to get wasted.
Now on BBC One,
Top of the Pops 2.
However you like your music, we have something for you. Mumford & Sons are going to be here tonight.
Taylor Swift, Ben Howard, Robbie Williams, Emily Sanders, and 5 young men that go by the name of One Direction up here.
The editor for this, do you think that he is the best we can get, or should we be looking at? Should we be trying?
No, he is. He's yeah. We are lucky. Honestly, we are really lucky.
What I really want to know is your big ideas.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
Editing is arguably the most important process within television construction. The editor can change the feel of a piece entirely. He has godlike power.
to mold the footage, to place emphasis, to build and maintain the atmosphere. He is basically able to make and manipulate the whole television.
But we're not actually going to show that. We're going to cut to this scene with me here chatting to you on the phone. And then I'm going to sort of cut you off mid-sentence.
Using these ingredients, we can tinker to an absurd degree.
Good evening, this is a BBM newsflash.
You haven't got a clue, have you? But you will do.
Our top story tonight.
Fact is taking centre stage.
Successfully? Unsuccessfully. Oh, that's a shame. And there's the same story in his head. For the moment, that's all from me.
That's it, and wherever you're going, hello.
Good night. Bad night. Night-night. Night-night.
Where to start, it just goes on and on and on and on, and he just takes everything out of context and into a whole different tangent, and it's just like, yabba yabba yabba.
The mind is something greater. It is the originator of ideas, and ideas are forever, immortal. Immortality through thought, a major theme in literature and philosophy. The universe will continue to spread and spread outward, and entropy will turn a chaotic infinity into a homogeneous, controlled system. This will take billions of years, and in that time, humans will put technology to heights we can't imagine. And as the specific people come and go, their physical bodies will be born and grow and die, but their thoughts will remain.
Attack ships on fire off shore of Orion. I watched sea beams glitter in the darkness with 10 hours a day.
Yes, it's an end, and there we are not quite certain about this end, because you know there are these peculiar faculties of the psyche, that it isn't entirely confined to space and time. You can have dreams or visions of the future. You can see round corners and such things. Only ignorance deny these facts. It's evident that they do exist and have existed always. Now these facts show that the psyche, in part at least, is not dependent on these confinements.
Real life is imaginations.
A successful end to the World Summit on the future.
They will put themselves in an information grid and they will have access.
Okay, do it.
Okay, this is the one. Action.
Action.
Action. Action and action.
One of the things about being a leader is that you've got to sort out arguments that come up between people in the group, and you've got to be fair, and you've got to make sure your own ego doesn't get in the way.
Well, we finished at the record and we think that it's a shit, and we wanted to go huge, but to play it off legit. And the guy in the A&R's got the CD in his car, and he thinks that tracks 4 and 6 are contenders, but the players are so tight that we gotta do it right. And he's got a good feeling, so we're gonna take a meeting with the radio promo and the marketing homos to see if we can get a green light. So we waited by the phone and they finally let us know that the label is quote really excited. This could be the big one. Time to celebrate, perhaps. Our fate is in the hands of strangers. Going gold or down the hall. You can kiss me.
Heavy metal rules. All that punk shit sucks. It doesn't belong in this world. It belongs on f***ing Mars, man. What the hell is
He's a fucking pride, No, it ain't pride. It's not fucking pride. It is pride. The guy was wrong to have been fucking there and do what he done. No, it isn't wrong. What's he supposed to do? Turn around with a different attitude? Because this is fucking... I've told him straight out not to do it again. I'm not going to go out and apologise for saying that to him. He was out of fucking order. He's not out of order. Then he's out of order. He goes and tells him to go. I'm not concerned with other people that can't fucking talk to me on stage who don't know how to fucking communicate with me. But he's not out of order. He does not know how to communicate with me. Some cunt's recording this.
So we got a couple stations, we're in medium rotation, but the PD isn't sure if the single's gonna work, cause he's gotta play The Cure and the psychedelic turds for the 80s flashback weekend. And a record in the trades and a video got made and it cost $100 grand, but we never got a play. We're trying to hit the road, but the agent doesn't know there's enough in the budget for tour support. So we'll play a little club and we're trying to get a buzz and we gotta get reviewing Music Connection.
difference is it comes from you, the imagery comes from you. In
heavy metal!
It comes from a multiplicity of sources, with a multiplicity of motives, a multiplicity of standards of quality.
That ain't working, that's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. Money for nothing, chicks for free. Money for nothing, chicks for free.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to try a new song now. This one is one that
Streets of London!
Well, I just done that one. So this is a new song which I'm sure. No, I've just done that one. Just finished doing it. So this is a new song which I'm sure you'll all enjoy. And this one's called.
Streets of London!
No, this song's called The Highwayman. A woman came calling at my door. Saw my ragged family, saw that we were poor. Said, come and ride with me, give you golden moon. Oh, that wicked highwayman.
Stupid heavy metal band!
What about futuristic heavy metal?
But we're more modern than futuristic, aren't we? I know. What about heavy metal that's a Billy romantic? What are you doing, Den?
Right, that's it. I'm getting out of here if we're anything to do with the new romantics.
Should we take the time to really discover how little we know about each other? Keep on saying anything, can't separate from everything. Get honest with me, he's the one in a crowd in a paradise every sound. Keep on saying anything, can't separate from everything. Get honest with me, he's the one in a crowd in a paradise every sound. Another break in what they say how.
Last-ditch effort just to rally up the troops. We ignored our last statement, 7 figures and recoup, cause we're in it for the art, but we like to see it chart in the Billboard Top 1000. So we gave it our shot, and the labels to the top, and the drummer quit the band, now he's working for his dad. So we're holding audition. That was good, give it a job. This could be the big one. Time to celebrate the half. Fate is in the hands of strangers. Going gold or down the hall. You can kiss my ass.
In the Steven Spielberg movie E.T., why is the alien brown? No reason. In Love Story, why do the two characters fall madly in love with each other? No reason. Why do some people love sausages and other people hate sausages? No fucking reason.
Come on, don't waste your time explaining that garbage. Let's go.
Just a minute, let me finish. Why are we always thinking? Once again, the answer is no reason. I could go on for hours with more examples. And you know why? Because life itself is filled with no reason.
What's happened?
What am I?
There's a picture there of one of the man's faces looking cross.
Well, this is good. This is the final installment in the mapping of the human genome. What we've been doing is they've been breaking down human DNA into a sequence of letters, each representing human chromosomes. This is the last bit, and now at last we can read how our chromosomes work. These sequence of letters here: A, G, C, A, T, A. The next sequence: G, C, T, C, A, G.
The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money wrapped up in a £5 note.
There we are. Note that down in your copybook now.
There's a photo there of Tony Gubbert.
I am an owl. The cat is a cat. We are not sailors, neither of us. Me, the owl, he who is supposed to be so wise, played for a fool by sod.
What am I? What am I? What am I?
TGC, TT.
There's a diagram there of hell.
Right? Oh no, that's ridiculous. Right.
Oh God, it's happening again.
What am
You are curious.
Yes, that's why!
To distract me from my pain, I have been given a small guitar, which I suppose would be some consolation if I had any fingers.
They've got a couple of little sea lions there to test your drugs on, but make sure you know what an off-colour sea lion looks like. I'm told it's 6 a.m. There's a break in the music that lasts until June the 15th, when the show will reconvene for a further 5 minutes.
There's a graph there of a roar.
I wanted a proper fucking concert with a proper fucking achievable aim.
T, T, G, G, C, T. I'm not going to read them all out because there's 50 million letters. But one thing I did notice in the whole sequence is that it starts to break down round about here, where it goes T, A, don't piss it away, A, T, G. And I picked up again this sequence a little bit later on here, don't piss it away. But I wrote to the person who's in charge of the whole DNA mapping project and said, you know, what's going on? And he said, shouldn't really read too much in it. It's probably just coincidence.
Right? Oh no, that's ridiculous. Right.
Now here's science.
This is the original. It took the editor exactly 24 hours to cut this, and we did wonder whether it was the very best cut that we did. However, I'll let you make your own mind up.
Science. We do what we must because we can. For the good of all of us, except the ones who are dead.
The problem with science on television is there isn't actually any science on television. They've got all these things which they claim are science documentaries, but they're too scared to put any actual science in them.
E equals mc squared.
In the case of Horizon, they're horror stories about how we're all going to die. Meanwhile, on Channel 4, they're running some kind of freak show. The baby with two heads, the twin that gave birth to itself.
E equals mc squared. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. And I did physics, and it annoys me this. Well, I mean, it's very clever, yes. I mean, it's just so bloody precise. E equals mc squared. It's not E equals mc squared plus 2.4 in sausage.
All matter is merely energy condensed to a slow vibration. We are all one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively.
So either we are in a simulation already, or we are progressing to a world where we will have virtual reality.
Alright lads, how you feeling? Bit wonky? Perfectly normal, we'll right as rain in 20 minutes.
What the hell? Where am I?
55 years, not bad. You kind of wasted your 30s though with that whole bird watching phase.
Where's my wife?
Morty, you were just playing a game. It's called Roy. Snap out of it. Come on.
Now these points of data make a beautiful line. When we're out of data, we're releasing on time. So I'm glad I got there and
What is the first rule of any game, Mr. Green?
The only way to get smarter is by playing a smarter opponent.
In creating this imaginary external enemy, we usually made a real enemy for ourselves, and that becomes a real danger to the ego, but that's also the ego's creation.
Fucking mad is this, Jake? Come on. Arguing with yourself. Silly. Oh, silly. Oh, so silly, Jake. I can hear you. What? I can hear you. You what? I'm onto you. Get off me, you fucker. I run this game, not you.
I am you. I am you!
You can't fucking see me. You can't fucking see me because I'm not fucking here! How can you beat you?
I'm your best fucking friend!
There is no such thing as an external enemy, no matter what that voice in your head is telling you. All perception of an enemy is a projection of the ego as the enemy.
In that sense, you could say that 100% of our external enemies are of our own creation.
Your greatest enemy is your own inner perception, is your own ignorance, is your own ego.
The more the victim invests, the less chance they will turn back. Eventually, when the opponent is challenged or questioned, it means the victim's investment and thus his intelligence is questioned. No one can accept that.
The problem is that the ego hides in the last place that you'd ever look, within itself.
It disguises its thoughts as your thoughts, its feelings as your feelings. You think it's you.
You've heard that voice for so long, you believe it to be you. You believe it to be your best friend.
At first it's difficult for the mind to accept that there's something beyond itself, that there's something of greater value and greater capacity for discerning truth than itself.
If you change the rules on what controls you, you will change the rules on what you can control.
Can you fucking see me, Jake? Can you see me?
No, because I don't exist, because I'm not fucking here! It's only a game, Jake. That's what it is, okay? Pals. Don't leave me behind. We're best friends forever. We're a team. I control you.
People have no clue that they're in prison. They don't know that there is an ego. They don't know the distinction. People have no clue that they're in prison. They don't know that there is an ego. They don't know the distinction. They don't know the distinction. They don't know the distinction. They don't know the distinction.
Only two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. I'm not sure about the universe.
The end of which a lull descended, and suddenly someone asked me in a hushed voice how I had done it. Of course, I was tempted to claim some sort of divine power or magical ability, but noting the change in fashion, plumped for science. I am a man of science, I said. That is how I done it. And the crowd shrieked and giggled its approval. Science was new then and mentioned it's something of novelty. Science, a man of science, repeated one in hushed tones, savouring the phrase. I was on a roll now, the Murley drops were kicking in. And I realised my best plan was to repeat the word science over and over again until I'd convinced them. Fortunately, it did not take long. Science, I cried, raising a glass to my lips and slurping exuberantly. Science, they replied and drained theirs. Before long, a simple but effective round system had developed. Slow baritone science, delicately counterpointed by several falsetto science. Science is a word ricocheting around the room like an all musket ball. And some other stuff happened.
This was a triumph. of success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction